going to show you this one feature, function, why we thank each other, because if I thank people and everybody else is thanking people, this is what it looks like from today. Okay, so various people have thanked each other, and this is the slice of pie. What does that mean? It means that people who have thanked, okay, thanked each other, these are the people who have been active, okay, and it's not an accurate description of how valuable it is, but imagine it was a company and we're doing that. And it looks like I am going to get about a quarter. Why am I going to get a quarter? If you look at the circumference, the arc there. Why? Because I'm the most valuable player. Of course I am. Why? I don't know. Because Julie's thanked me. And I worked with Julie quite a lot. We thanked each other. And lots of people have thanked me, which is beautiful. Which is beautiful. Thank you very much, folks. Thank you. But Julie thanked me, helped me a lot. And I've given Julie, I think, nearly most of my thanks. About half of my thanks goes to Julie. And even though Julie hasn't been thanked, that's a bit odd. I'm not sure why. Okay. Oh, I know why. Sorry. If I look at Julie's thanked, most of her thanks gone to me, about 80%. And the rest of it has gone to Iona, Glenn, and Matthew. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. And so it's about our thanks. Okay. Now what happens is, if money was to come to this gift party, if for whatever reason in the future, people said, I want to support that group of people that started that thing off, that incredible group of 26 people that started this thing off. Okay. I'm going to give them money. I'm going to give them £10. Okay. And the £10 is distributed. It isn't held in a pool. It isn't held in a company. It's immediately distributed to all the participants, okay, equally, or according to these values. And these values are purely ours, our value tracking, nothing else. There's no other bias, okay? It's just whatever we think and the numbers we've given. That's it, okay? Which means that if somebody put in £10, so what I'm going to do right now, just to show you how crazy this tool is and how I like it. I just like it. I'm going to change this so that the setting of this, no flag, God, that was the wrong one, right? Okay, we're going to edit this so that the gift party is, because I don't have the money to be able to finish the app, so I've got to do it this way. I'm going to put the author of this app is the actual app itself. Okay, what does that mean? It's basically a shortcut, which means that now, I got support working. Is support working for this app? Let me see. Okay, gift party. Is the support function working? Yes, it is. Guess what? I'm literally going to give £10. Why not? Well done, folks. Well done for participating in a world premiere. Okay, and anybody in the future can do this. They can watch this video and just go, you guys are amazing. You started this thing off. You didn't really know what you were doing. You did this thing. Brilliant. And they do exactly what I'm doing because they're the living people. We're in the past. However much I've yabbed on, who cares? All right. They are the ones that are living, and they put in £10 and they hit confirm, boom, and it gets distributed. Okay. Now I think I've put it for half. I think I've put it for the settings so that it's like equal to everybody, but it's also half of it's gone to the SQ. And that's it. And that's how businesses are going to work in the future. You produce value for people, they go, oh, that's really good, and they support it, and they put money in to the people who made it happen. Okay, so does that work? Yeah, hopefully it will work. Support. Oh, look, I got 96 credits. And if you check your support, if you check your incoming and your offers, the various things offered to you, thanks. Oh, you lovely people. Oh, so much credit. Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. Okay, that's lovely. Okay, and you can imagine people working away, slaving away, doing stuff, they put out there, and then people just start thanking them for eternity. They just share it forwards. Ray, you should be getting thanks. You should be getting thanks for what he's doing. Okay, but he needs to share. People need to share forwards with money, and then beautiful things will happen. Thank you. Sorry. Right. So there we go. Well done for participating in World Premiere. You have done very well. That's too good. I'll enjoy that later.
I love it. So I'm going and thanking everybody. I hope everyone's trying it.
Okay, so the idea is, if we do this better, if, for example, Glenn did it with his group and he got his kind of team together and posse and said, right, okay, here's bits of Glenn books, or Ray, properly just for Ray. And we just get a bunch of people. And then we share it amongst ourselves. And then we think of people that might actually be interested. And we record what we're doing. So they get to see not just Ray, they get to see the people sharing forwards a bit. And they get the idea of it. And if we get that just one bit right, and something goes viral, just one of our projects goes viral, okay, with the financial dimensions, everybody will just go, wait, how does that work? And it's through the people. It's not this tool is going to work, this app is going to work. It's the people. It's the people. Once people understand it's our agency that this economic employs, then everything's going to be great. Possibly. Okay. Anyway, that's one of my books about, to go, if we're using a tool like this, if we're listening to each other in a certain way, if we're doing these games, and we start playing these games, okay, in a certain way, incredible things are going to start happening, as far as I can understand. My book doesn't go on about how those incredible things happen. I just provide the tools. The tools are useless. It's the people, okay? And it's the trust that we have amongst ourselves and the people that we know, and we know people we trust, okay? And we just need to just basically give them some money, okay, with the thing that we think is valuable. And if they trust us, they just go, yeah, okay, I'll share it forwards. And if they've got a bit of money to put in, or they think it's really valuable, they put their money in and share it forwards. Okay, it's not complicated. Anyway, it's all there, blah, blah, blah. So there's my book, right? So I haven't shared my book today, but I will, or, you know, whatever. Okay, so that's it. I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. I could go on part 3, but I can't. So I'm just going to just stop sharing. It's up to you guys
Heart, big heart. Thank you so much, David. Oh my goodness. Scale's amazing. And is anybody else sharing all over the place and thanking and good? Matthew's name. Yes.
So anyway, it's really the values between us which are important. It's not the thing, it's us. It's always us. It's all really about relationships. And that's the app's about that. The book's about that. So if you want to put the comment there, and then the idea is if there was like 1,000 people, 10,000, you want to find out who's people who thinks this is a 10. If you see a film, all right, that you think this is it, this is the best film I've ever seen, 10. Okay, 10. Who are the other people that think it's a 10 and why? So you see their comment, you'd be able to go, well, okay. And then you may want to work with them or talk with them or trust them to do something with them or share something with them. And so we start getting a little bit better at sharing with the right people and what to share. Right. Robert, take it away, Robert. Oh, you're still muted.
Yeah, so David, thank you so much for inviting me. And I think this app is, amazing. Actually, I was sharing it. I was sharing about it with a friend of mine who is a teacher. And all of a sudden, he started talking of how they've been doing, like they are trying to embrace technology in terms of, students learning it and presenting things like in terms of coding, Emma, or just presenting their own ideas during their workshops in schools. And so he really struck my mind in terms of, he mentioned something to do with he would like to know more about the app and see whether it's something it can be used in schools that students can present, and upon presenting in their various schools, as they present, teachers and they can also appreciate them, or even rate depending with how they performed or how they presented. And so I think it's also a very good approach, doing like having it in schools. I don't know whether you've thought of that, but that person, he really brought it in a very a very creative way to use this app or system. And
Thank
I
you
think
very
it's
much.
a great one.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you.
I don't think I'm going to do cycle 3 to do with reflexive listening. I just want to mention that what we're doing when we're doing things like this is we think we're communicating through it to each other. And it's more to do with receiving. If we're thinking about, we're listening to people more than we are talking, waiting to talk, but we're kind of all listening. And that's the majority. And then that means that we think we're listening right now, and that's the only people listening, it's just us. But when we share it forwards, we are in the past. And so the person listening live, for example, okay, we'll stop sharing. So whenever, for example, Robert just talked just now, if that was listened to in somebody who's a teacher in like 2 months' time, somewhere in the world, and Robert's just said this thing, it's live to them. And they go, oh, that's a good idea. And now the reason why they got it is because somebody shared it with them. Why did they share it forwards? Because they heard Robert. So at the moment that Robert was talking, everybody who ever watches this, ever, in the past, in the future, is watching at the moment he's talking. Now, Robert wasn't aware of that, and none of us are aware of this. So we can stop thinking that we have to promote stuff. We just need to say what we need to say once, really, and trust the people that have heard it to act on it. And if that is true, and what you're saying is valuable, it'll go to every school, if it is actually really that valuable. But right now, we have markets and we have noise. We have to reduce the noise. How do we reduce the noise? By sharing forwards what we value with people we value. So that teacher in 3 months' time is listening. They go, they got it. And it took, 4 or 5 people sharing forwards, but simultaneously it was shared to others. And there could be 10,000 teachers. 10,000 teachers listening to Robert, just what he just said just now. Now, obviously, it'd be better, a slightly better explanation. Maybe it's a teacher that says, this is what I'm doing in my school, share it forwards, and it could raise money for the school. We're using this thing, look what the students are doing, here's a few examples, share it forwards, put in £1. And it's also raising money for the school, so we can build a better school. What the fuck? It's brilliant, yeah? It's not the tool, it's the fact that we're all starting to listen. We're starting to go, it's not about promoting, it's not about advertising, it's not about amplification. It's none of that. It's silencing, quieting down, what's valuable, share it forwards. And so the reflexive reading is reverse it. So it's not the talker that's important, it's the listener. And then enacting that. Okay, I can't quite describe the thing that well. That's why it's in the book. Has anybody got anything to say? So let's just, the door's open, wherever, the stage is open. Can anybody just, anybody want to share anything? You can share your screen. You found something on Scale. Look at this. You got a nice comment from somebody. You got a nice comment. It's like, oh, right. Would you like to share that? Or any kind of feelings you've had? Maybe anybody, just, Robert's kind of like one, anybody. And it's not for me to hear per se. Maybe it is. But it's for anybody that's done anything, that got any. Did anybody get a vibe out of this that was quite pleasant? Matthew's got his hand up.
Go, Matthew.
Shall I talk? Yes. Okay. So yeah, all I'm going to say is that actually I've really enjoyed the experience. So I went into a room, I listened to Iona tell me a story. I had no idea of the context. We met each other as people first, just in terms of where we were in the world. Then she told me a story about Wycliffe, okay, and a little bit about her relationship with the environment, and kind of she told me a little bit about her book, and it was really compelling. And then on scale, she doesn't realize, and the reason why I wanted to mention this is because she doesn't realize that she's already shared it with me, but I've actually got a book and I'm actually reading her book sort of simultaneously. And it's probably been, I think, the most, that's the way you want to receive a book. You want to receive a book from an author who sort of introduces the book, in the way that, makes it real. So now that I'm reading this book, and I know you perhaps got something to say about this, David, but as I'm reading this book, I feel like I'm reading this book with a very different kind of commitment. So it has worked. So I'm going to read the book, and I've also shared the book with many of you, even though I haven't read it yet, because the story that Iona shared with me initially was enough to compel me to share the book forward. I trust it's going to be a great book to read, but perhaps not, just for entertainment value, but in terms of gaining insights into what Iona has learned, witnessed, observed, and envisaged in terms of what can be done. So yeah, so thank you, David, and thank you, Iona, and thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Matthew. That makes me feel so good, because I've been fumbling around trying to do things and I'm not so good at it yet. But your words make me want to cry too. Thank you.
So I'm just going to just put a little comment, because I have played around with this app for a while, and it's to do with give you a couple of hints as to how we use it, just to give people hints. What's happened is that Iona shared it with Matthew. Matthew's doing a great job of sharing it forwards. Now this it's like a starburst, okay, and maybe that leads to other things, and therefore Matthew becomes quite an important person to Iona, okay. And Matthew could say, look, I was quite influential for this, if that was to happen in the future for whatever reason. However, it would be, this is because Matthew's reading this. And by the way, I started reading Iona's book, and you read it in a reflexive state. You read it in a reflexive state, i.e. it's kind of about us. And she's reading it, you're reading it at the same moment that she's writing it. It's very live. So it's like our language, she's just talking. And so therefore you don't know what's happening. There's an illusion that we think a book is all written. It's not, it's blank page and somebody writes into it. And as they're writing to it, words are coming into their mind and they're typing it or writing it out. And so reflexive reading is getting to the moment that is the same moment as the moment of writing. So similarly, like I'm talking now, I don't know what's going to happen. But once it's finished, this is recorded. Because, it's all done. It's been recorded. It's all done. No. While somebody is listening in the future, they don't know what's going to happen too. Okay, so there's a moment that we're doing when we're writing or talking or anything. As the person's listening, it is live and it's unraveling and it's into the future. Okay, so Iona and the way she writes is like that. It's very much like she's describing, and you get really the sense that you're with her. So yeah, I agree with you, Matthew. I haven't valued it. Oh, very bad, David. And you shared it. Now, what happens is this, although this looks good, all right, it's what should be happening is we share with one or two. We're selective about the one or two. It's better if we share with one or two that really get this, really you think, okay, out of all the people, right, these are the two, boom, boom. And if you share it with the right people, they go, okay, who? And that selective, important, like moving forwards is the better way at some point in the future. Because we're still doing this idea of broadcasting. Okay, let's give it to everybody. It's like, no, just give it to a couple. But right now, people receive things, they, it's just a broadcast, this person doesn't really mean anything. But actually, this is the learning of the experience, is that we need to trust one or two people. We get a viral, and they say, how did that work? Share with only two people, 3, maybe 4. Okay, why? It's important because then they have time to speak to people, your friends. You don't share with all your 5 friends, you share with 1 or 2, and then they share with 1 or 2 that are left, and they share with until your friendship group has shared forwards. And we're kind of just being a little bit more careful about sharing, especially when we're talking about things like male violence. You know, we don't want to just blast that out there. It's, there are trigger kind of aspects to it. So beautiful, Matthew. That is beautiful, beautiful reflection also of Iona. Julie, take it away, please.
I still don't know how to do everything in here. I'm sorry, David. I'm doing my best here. But I want to be helpful to Iona. Oh, she just saw it. Maybe, I don't know. We're just like the people that want to stick around and play some more and go deeper. So if that's okay, can we guide Iona through what it is she and I are trying to learn to do with getting her beautiful creation on here?
Yes, we can go into a little bit more depth about using the tool. Okay, for is there anybody, because then it's like the use of the tool, which some people might or might not be interested in. I'm happy to, obviously. But
I couldn't figure out how to get links to things to like put them here in the Zoom.
Okay, so for example, if you are looking at where is Iona's is it a project or product?
Is it a project or a product? Good
Oh,
question.
there it is. Sorry, there it is. Facing Violence, Wycliffe.
Okay.
So what you do is you share, Bosh. And if it's a person here, great. And you can search for a person. And it should be people that you know. You shouldn't be just picking any old person. All right. But here, that's what we're experimenting with. Try with a few, they try with a few, and we get a nice graph. That's the idea. However, if you're looking for a link to share with somebody outside of this, like Iona's got a couple of friends, so how does she do it? One is the quick share. Okay, quick share, and that gives you the link. I'm going to show you a slightly slower way of doing it, and it's called the limited share. The limited share means I'm going to make it live for 1 person. I'm going to make it live for like 5 people. And so then I hit next, and then I say, please have a look at this book. Have a look at this powerful book. Remember to imagine the author writing as you read. Okay, and that would be my hint. Okay, and this is live for 5 people. And what I'm doing is I'm prepaying. When it's an open quick link, it means that when anybody clicks on it, 10p is taken out your balance, and then it refreshes it. 10p is taken out your balance. It's like an open thing that anybody can take. Whereas this it's only going to be 5. Okay, and I can set also the amount. Okay, the open is set by the author in this case, but this one is set by me. So if I say this is going to be live for 100 credits, 5 people, I'm putting £5 in. That's what I'm doing. It's gone. Okay, and it's gone, and it's I copy this link and I share that. So I might put that in a social space and say, right, the first 5 people will get £1. Have a look at this. Okay. And that means that it'll get to that. And once 5 people have registered, looked at it, taken the book, taken the money, no more money will come out of my account. Okay. So in this graph, when I look at community now, and I look at distribution graph, I will see on my thing, okay, how do I do this move? Right over there. I'm way over there. Those are 5 links.
Okay.
They're not named people because I don't know. And I have to put the link somewhere. So if I put it, for example, in Zoom, or I put it on social media or a group, I say, there it is, and the first 5 people. Or you just do it 1 person at a time, or 2, or whatever. The point is, the money is determined beforehand. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Or you could just do the first way and get the link.
Get the link, share it. But the trick about this, I think in order for us to get viral, I think it needs to be the content. Now, Iona recorded this thing with me yesterday, and I haven't had time to improve upon it. And the idea is that when you hit, right now, when you hit Iona's thing, this is good that we're doing this, all right? Because I failed, right? It shows you how it failed. But look, if you open, What happens is you go to our book. Okay, you go to our book. There it is, Facing Violence. Boom, and it's actually literally our book. You start reading it. Oh yeah, right. That was it. Just giving it away free. And it's like, wait, this is about violence. This is about death of a person. This is quite, this is important. And I spent time thinking about this and writing about it. And I'm just looking at it, and it's like, oh right, that's it. Right, what? And I think that's free things in this world are not valued. What can I say? And so what I was going to do was put a little video of Iona saying, and we've had this video, I know, I apologize, I put it in there saying, share it forwards. It was without that information, somebody's got it through Scale, reading the book, well, I'm just going to share this link. I'm just going to copy this thing at the top here and just share that. No. The only people that benefit out of that are social media companies. Okay, social media companies. Because where they're using our relationships and they're making money. Okay. And I'm saying, can we stop with that? So if it goes through Scale, what will happen is the money's flowing and it's going outwards as it's spreading. And at some point, if there's enough people reading the book and there's enough money flow, Iona might add a video here of saying, well, since we've had this money flow and you've received this, would you like to put some money into this project? And it might be one of the readers. One of the readers have read this thing. So, oh, this is my project I'm doing to try and stop violence. And it approaches Iona. And then goes, oh, that's really good. Well, there's 10,000 people with $1,001 each. Maybe we could use that money for your project. Oh, okay. So she records the conversation with them, sticks it in this page below, and nothing's changing in terms of our sharing. We're just kind of changing as it evolves. So the book is there, the request is there, but the money flow is happening. And if it's successful, we start going collectively, what are we doing with this money? What's the next person who gets it? Instead of just sharing the book, oh, they could put it into actually doing something in this group. Oh, okay, I'll share the book, but I'll also put a bit of money into that group. Wait a minute, by sharing the book, I am putting money into this group. Okay, so there are variations on how this works. So, right, enough blab. Anybody else got anything to? 17 people. It's a noble way to end if we just kind of like pitch her down, but we've got 25 minutes. I'm very happy to 25 minutes and then we just finish. Has anybody got anything else to say or contribute or look at or draw attention to that we would like to about our listening, our experience, or
what does it mean when you can't open? Let's see, what was it I was trying to open?
Do you want to share your screen?
Well, now
this has become a real workshop, isn't it?
Oh,
I would like to thank you both for using my book as an example. I loved it. Thank you.
So that was your book. Oh, good.
Yeah.
I actually forget now what it was I was on. I clicked open. Can you tell the last thing I was on, David, before this?
No. Okay, I would like to do history functions and things. It's a minimal app. I mean, these things cost money, believe me.
What if I just kept hitting back? Maybe we
what you can do, look, this is quite interesting.
Oh, this was it. I think this was the thing I couldn't open. Phenomenal. Yeah, this is the thing I couldn't open. Let's see.
You're not sharing, as far as I know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not sharing? Yes, I am. Okay. You can't see my share?
I do now. Oh, here we go. Right, yes. Oh, hey. That's Matthew's thing.
So I think I clicked open. Oh, no. Yeah, this is what I got. Sorry, that's not currently available.
Yeah, he's basically, he has to update his link. He's maybe got rid of it. It's Matthew. That's Matthew's. So Matthew can answer that. Oh, he may have gone.
I'm still here, David.
Oh, you're still here. Hey, I don't know how to use this thing. Sorry, Matthew.
That's okay. So what's the question? There's a broken link on the product.
Yeah, the open thing. I'll share my screen again. Sorry. Oh,
yeah. Show me the name of the product.
Can you see it? Let me see.
Yes.
The scroll bar doesn't work for me, by the way. Oh, now this scroll bar is working. Never mind. But going up and down works. Yeah, when I clicked, let's talk about being social. Yes, please, let's, by the way.
Yeah.
Um,
So I think what I need to say here actually is I think in a way I think it was maybe Karen and I were talking about something similar. If you've got an active community or you've certainly got an active social sort of community that's present inside Scale, then the motivation to keep links and everything updated is obviously higher. I think what's happened is I've got a long history with Scale, and I've started projects and sort of haven't really managed to get any interest in those projects. So I've probably left some of the links, not quite updated. And I think that's a really, really good point, because I think, with more activity in Scale and more sort of communities participating, the motivation to keep things tidy so that you're actually representing your projects, more wholesomely it's much greater. So I'm going to go and update that link. But what I realize now is that particular podcast is it's fallen out of my mind actually, and it was important to me at the time, and that's really quite worth saying. It was important to me at the time because what I wanted to do was just have conversations about actually, what it means to be social. We kind of take it for granted all the time that we know what it means, and certainly these days, depending on your generation and depending on kind of your physical reality, in contrast to kind of your shall we say virtual reality, the way that we're social is different to each of us. And I just wanted to talk about that, and that's what the podcast was. I think I did a couple of shows, and then I think I abandoned it, in all honesty, and I wish I hadn't. So there you go. There's a testament to Scale. It's bringing me face to face with a motivation and an intention I had that was really genuine and really pure and honest. And perhaps my confidence or my self-doubt got the better of me, and I thought this wouldn't be worth it, because I guess I wasn't thinking about the future audiences at the time. Would you agree, David?
And it isn't your responsibility, Matthew. I think that is the way to do it, is we start something and then it's the few people we share it forwards to, and it's our friends, our family, various people that are responsible for moving forwards. Can I just say though, a little thing that is locked, and it's got 8 credits at the top there. The locked means that any money put forwards goes to the author. In this case, the Phenomenal podcast. So if anybody supports,
and I think just a little reflection on that, David.
Sorry?
A little reflection on, because I'm obviously still learning about contracts and sort of what's appropriate or what might be best for a particular project or endeavor. And at this time, I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if actually we could sustain, a conversation about being social, and therefore I could almost collect up any money that was supported and then share it forward with new listeners.
Yeah.
So in terms of expanding the network, I was going to then essentially have some locus of control, David, in terms of how much of that money then I actually invest in the forward marketing. So I think I was playing at the time. It didn't work, obviously, but
that's okay. So that's the idea. So that people have confidence. So for example, if it's a charity and we want to raise money for the Heart Foundation, we know that, and I've put in $10 to share it forwards to a friend to go on a charity run for the Heart Foundation. I know that $10, if it's locked to the Heart Foundation, it means it looks like it's going to my friend, but they can't use that £10 or dollars for anything else but share that thing. And at any point, the Heart Foundation can hit the button and all the money that's in distribution goes to them. So I have complete confidence that when I'm putting money in and sharing it forwards with somebody, I know that money's going to go to the Heart Foundation. And so we're doing something, instead of giving it to the money to the Heart Foundation, which is like, just give the money, we're saying, give it to somebody else. And then give that money goes to somebody else. And then that money goes to somebody else. And it doesn't matter where it goes, at some point, it will go back. Not back, but it goes to the Heart Foundation when they need it. So instead of waiting for people to hit the support button, you can have it locked and all the money goes to the, gosh, I was blabbing away and I wasn't even looking at Julie. Julie's doing lots of background. Scribbles.
I do like that you can hit back. hitting the back
Right.
arrow. It's like, oh, where was I? Oh, good.
You can close it. If you scroll down to the bottom, you can close it and then go. That closes the whole thing.
It looks like the Zoom share thing is in the way, and I gotta move this, and I'm not sure how.
That's what it is.
Somewhere else.
So there is a close button there to get rid of it.
Okay.
Right. So is there anybody? Is there anybody else? Is there anybody else? Oh, yeah, okay. So Julie's continuing to do that. Has anybody got anything? It's 19 people here. Some people are switched on, switched off, paying attention, not paying attention. Is there anybody? Oh, so I have to do this because I have to see everybody. Is there anybody else? No. Okay. So who knows what different people are doing? Has anybody got any other observations?
Amount of credits. I can't thank Matthew.
Right. So anything in a black circle is a value, and you're not giving them to anybody. You're just tracking your value of people. The only things that you can give people the credits, and that's in the white kind of circles. And you can give people things. You can invite them to things, and those are the only two.
Should I be able to click the thanks 0 next to Matthew?
Yeah, you should be able to do that on some of the screens. Okay, it would be great if it was all of them. But you should be able to tap on it. That's a quick way of getting to Matthew and then thanking him.
Yeah. Oh well.
Okay, but if you should be able to tap on anybody.
Let me share my screen, David, and let me share my screen.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, Iona Connor.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you see, if you're on the home screen and you actually click directly on the person, of course, it isn't contextualized in the sense of it's not related to a project, it's not related to a product. But nonetheless, I can still thank Iona directly just for some general reason. So if I click on Iona, and then you see it says here value, and in brackets it says thanks. So you can thank directly there as well. So I can say, thank you again for your. So even if I say participation in World Premiere, of course, it's not linked to the project, but nonetheless, I can still.
You can. If you go down to projects in the middle there, you can choose it.
Okay, so you could do it straight away directly, or you could actually then link it to a project. So let's link it to the project to improve the contextuality. There you go. Because we're in the project together, it's there in the list. So
Yeah.
thanks.
The only thing that you can thank in terms of the context is the project you're in. Currently, if you thank for a product, that isn't tied to it. We're not tracking that bit. So, and we don't have history. So, that's an extra little feature, is the thanks is actually tagged to something like a product. Okay. But it could be for, mowing the lawn. Thank you for mowing my. In fact, I've got some, actually, you could just thank them for anything. And so that's why I didn't want to code it into anything, because then you think it has to go through the app. You don't. Somebody's, took you a lift, took you on a lift from the airport. You say thank you on the app. You just go, thank you. What's the context? Who cares? I've just thanked them. And it's just
so
general.
can we use the Miro board to link these things? Like on my homepage, I don't have the reflective thing. Anyway, I don't know, just lots of ideas. I can put lots of stuff on the Miro board if I learn how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, the Miro board was just my attempt to
Get a visual. Yeah.
Do this group thing. The idea of connecting things, for me, I think that we are the connectors. We are the ones with the people we know, and we have the information. And so it's about how do we empower our agency in sharing. And it's once we've shared, it's their responsibility. So I don't have to keep track of it. I don't have to keep thinking about it. And so it's meant to be a minimal mirror of our social. And so I get on with my life, engaging people and doing things. And every so often I use the app to make sure that my values are correct, my evaluations are correct, that I'm sharing forwards the appropriate things, that my money direction is going in the right direction. And I'm basically just getting on with my actual, what is it I'm doing. Okay. And so I don't want to go through the app. The app is a reflection. Right. So, But I hear what you're saying, just trying to keep things together. But it's weird, you see, because I've got my book. I spent a year writing about it. I don't have to have a version of it anywhere. Okay. But there is a card, and that's my book. And if people share that forwards, my marketing is done. If somebody likes my book, they thank me, they share it forwards. I don't have to do anything about it.
Can we connect with each other through Scale?
We can, but it's more to do with the projects that we're doing. So, for example, we met Julie at the Peace Labs, and we helped each other. And if we track the value, which I did, in fact, I think it's somewhere there. In fact, I could risk it, try and find it.
That is.
And my value from 3 years ago is there. Okay. And actually, I think I thanked her a lot. That was from 3 years ago. Now, why should it be dead? It's not dead. It's just happened to be 3 years ago. It's been inactive for me. But if I met somebody else, and I, meet Julie again, my gratitude is still accumulating for Julie. Well, yeah, why not? So if I look at all my list here, I don't know, because this app got reworked at some point. It got restarted at some point. I think in 2021, but let's find out. Julie Jackson, Julie Wolf, look, 783. That's quite a lot. Okay, if you're thanking somebody, a few here, there, maximum of 100. All right, at some point it's like, wow, that was just amazing. It's 100. Julie, right? I don't have the history of that, sadly. I don't have the history of that because it would involve a little bit more money, and then I'd be able to look at Julie and I'd be able to see what's our history. What's our history? Boom, boom. And
Yeah,
I'll be able to see her thanks, my thanks, and I'll go, oh yeah. And all I've got is this little summary here. Okay, but if we have a little bit of money, it would be a reminder, a little bit more of a reminder. But what's important is that I have thanked her 783. She has been valuable. Okay. In which social contexts? Well, actually, wait a second. Maybe I'll look at this. View, projects, Peace Lab. Oh, look at that. My
There
value.
it is. You did find it. Wow.
Peace Lab. Now it's 3. Why is it 3? Because it kind of like died, and after a while, I was just like, well, and I would like to see the history of that. Let's have a look at it. View project. Peace Lab. Now this apart from today, this thing happened 3 years ago. Okay, community. What was the distribution graph? Wow. It's better than today's. But they didn't share it forwards. And that's the thing. Leslie did. Leslie shared it forwards a whole bunch of people, but it wasn't enough. Oh, and then Marilyn, look at that. Now that's the proof of it.
Ooh.
Gave it to Leslie, Marilyn, and then she shared it forwards and they didn't accept.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing that was shared didn't say share it forwards through Scale. So the content, if you look at the content of Peace Labs, it wasn't obvious when somebody gets it. They're like, what is this about? They hit open. It might be dead, actually, the link, because it was 3 years ago. Thank you for taking part. Jeez, there it is. Wow.
That's my website.
Your website. Okay.
And it's still there.
It's still there. And it's still live. Okay. The thing is alive if we share it forwards. But there's nothing there that says share through. It should be like Julie going, share this forwards through Scale. And that means she doesn't have to look at it for years. Nobody has to. But if somebody shares it forwards, they'll hit that thing. They'll see the relationships between, and that was these are genuine people. I'm not joking about. Leslie ended up being quite important, let's say, in that network.
Shannon probably a little bit.
Else? Yeah, Shannon shared it forwards, but nobody else accepted. Kathleen set up a relationship there. Stan tried to share it to John, who didn't accept it. And do you see, it was like a potential thing. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Like today, perhaps. Potential thing doesn't work. At some point, the little pieces, the right pieces there, and it's social. It's not technical. It's social. And so when somebody hits open, they go to it, and there's a real person going, we're doing this thing. It was a group of us.
Okay,
Sure,
so here we go.
Yeah.
3 years later in conversation.
Okay.
So you want us to get like off of social media, right? So, but I want to take this video and put it on YouTube, and this Zoom video, put it on YouTube, and then bring it back and share it in Scale. So if we like go back and forth with however we're communicating in our relationships, could be text, could be email, could be social media, then it seems like that's the way that would
Better.
continue.
I've thought of it right now. Okay, you could take this little video of us just talking about sharing this,
Yeah,
maybe get some other people together again as well, and then you
Yeah.
add it to that website. You literally add it to this thing. So we're not changing anything on Scale.
oh,
Okay, so you put it there. So, or maybe you put maybe a different page or something or whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, you have a video. You put the video in there, and then you share the Scale link through social media and everything else. And
huh,
so
yeah.
we don't have to just keep on doing new things. It's like this was a very valuable thing. I spent time with Peace Labs. I took part in workshops. I took part in it. It's valuable. The fact that it didn't work out doesn't mean it's not valuable. It's just that our means of sharing it, well, I actually did have Scale. We could have done that. But our means of sharing it and our understanding of it was lacking.
That's
the
it.
social
It's the
soil,
understanding.
yeah, the social
it's-
soil is incredible. Sorry, carry on, Julie.
Oh, thanks. Sorry to interrupt.
no.
Thanks for letting me. Yeah, it's thank you for smiling, Wendy.
Oops, we've lost Julie. Hiccup, a virtual hiccup. This it takes less pressure. Oh,
Sorry.
is there anybody else wishing to?
Oh, so sorry to cut you short. I actually just wanted to share a bit about the the value, like the topic you are talking about. The fact that you tried it 3 years ago and it didn't work doesn't mean it's not valuable. As you are talking, as you are explaining about the Scale, I thought of different ways in which we normally, try to do things. Like, for instance, in Rotary, in our club, I'm in District 9212. There's a way we do happy dollars or sad dollars, or supporting any of the projects. And so, I've thought of Scale as a best way to share such, like to give happy dollars, to give sad dollars, to support projects. And also not just in Rotary. We've had this NGOs or CBOs, coming together to present, sharing the ideas, what they do, the impacts they are making. And the purpose of all this is to show their impact and get funding. And so it's also a very good way, a potential way to get people to use this platform to get the support. Like, one can share through this app. Then if you feel touched, if you feel that you love whatever those guys are doing, you support that through the same way we've been doing. And so I think it's a very valuable app, and I definitely am going to recommend it more and more. And I just wanted to know whether it's possible to have a shorter version of how the entire system works, so that it becomes easier to just, when you talk to people about it, you can share the video in a nutshell and get you and understand the entire thing in a short version of it. I don't know whether that's possible.
If you could, Robert, and you get the right people to do that with the right content, I've been the inventor, and my social relationships are pretty thin. And I find that white people generally are just bombarded by adverts and things like that, and they're not very trusting. The social soil around me is quite weak, and I think generally it is quite weak in Western society. So you're saying that to get this video thing, I've tried. And so if you can, and you get the right people together. So for example, I'm just screen sharing this thing, okay, gathering around a watering hole, okay, and this is Ray's thing. He hasn't accepted it yet. He hasn't quite understood the tool. He's been ill, okay. They had, difficulty, then they had water problems, and then they had too much water, and it's just like, he's been ill, and, regenerative farm with orphans and old people, and you're just like, and they're trying to get a water hole, and he needs $2,000. How do you do that? Well, if we had the right, and if you look at this thing, we haven't shared it too much today, but that's almost quite healthy. That's starting to be quite healthy. Okay, it's a few people sharing forwards. Julie shared forwards, and then Matthew did, and Dana. And if we do that, supported with, okay, $25. Okay, it's not a huge amount. It's not a huge amount, but that's amongst these people. Right. And if instead of supporting, what happens if they put those $5 to share it forwards? So the actual card has support, but it's locked. So the support button is because people are frightened. Okay, I just want to support him. The trouble is, it's only $5 or $10. We need 2,000. So that $5 or $10 is much more useful if you share the $5 or $10. And if you share this is the problem I've got as a kind of user. I go, okay, well, maybe we should switch off support. But that means people have to understand, have the confidence that if it's locked, it means that even when I give a friend $5, it's actually going to go to Ray. Why? Because it's locked. The money is locked to that product, that project. And that kind of understanding, you can't explain it all. You can't explain it all in a nice video. Okay. So I think what needs to happen is it needs to be a video, people presenting, saying, share it forwards. And it's a good, valuable thing. And it's a nice video. And as you're saying, it's well done. And I haven't been able to do that. If you can get the right people to produce that, for example, for Ray's thing, and we get a viral, and then once you get a viral, then everybody starts taking time working out what all of these things are. Okay, and sharing, oh, this is what the lock means. This is what I think. Okay, you can't explain it all. It's a funny thing. This is a mirror. Explaining a mirror is tricky. Okay, it's tricky. But hopefully enough people have seen this that they start seeing what this is, and you start seeing your own reflection, and you start seeing your own action. You see other people's actions, and we start to understand what this thing is. And hopefully it'll allow us to see the things that are valuable. And anyway, so yes, you're right. Okay, I agree. If I can help you produce that thing, Robert, okay, I'll put money into it too, of course. Yeah. Back to Julie. Nobody else. Wendy, I see you. Yes, you have been responding with your smiles. Glenn, you've been very patient there. Very patient. Okay.
Some people, so that I don't have to talk.
Yeah. But
I love
Julie,
talking.
she's quite happy about contributing. Yeah. So,
yeah. So I think when I ask myself, you keep saying it's not about the app. It's not about it's not about scale. It's not about, and my actual experience is how fun this was. You started with like only 10 people left. We're still here. It's really fun to build relationships and to support each other. So yeah, I'd be happy to support a annual or maybe quarterly follow up on this, or maybe next week. But yeah, I think we should do this more often. This is good. Why every 3 years? This is a lot of fun. It's about our relationships. That's what's important. That's what Scale's really trying to do, right?
Yeah. Matthew's just about to disappear. Thanks, Matthew. Matthew, for example, I'm going to say it, but Matthew's been working and he's got a family and he jobs things. It's a bit of an issue just recently. And he was a great supporter of this. Okay, right at the beginning, he was like, oh, I get this. And he knows what this thing is. But because of his requirements, responsibilities for family, in the West, that means you have to make a lot of money, which means you have to work for a company. Okay. And so it's hard for startups, for example, like Scale, or hard for an author or a musician. And therefore they then need to get paid, but they get a manager, and then they have to get a record deal, and then they're selling their music. And the whole thing is just rigged, okay, badly, okay? So can we start to work together at using this thing? And I think what's going to happen within 3 years or 3 months or 3 weeks, all right, is we start trusting each other, and we're doing things in the world. We're generating revenue from as if we're a company, but we're distributing amongst ourselves. You know, like, well, as if it's a company. Now, I think it might just be pennies. Like today, I've just shared, and some people just made a few cents, a few pennies. But if I made 1,000, then I could say, oh, okay, we made 1,000 today, guys. Here, and I share it to everybody. Somebody else makes 10,000. Somebody else makes 1,000. Somebody else makes 500. And it's whatever we can share. You know, somebody could just put in £10, whatever it is that we're sharing. And because we're working a global thing, it means that my share in the UK is not enough for a living, but it's well enough for Ray, right? For his community. And so it's naturally balancing out the money flow. And I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to work, and a substantial amount of my money just naturally goes to people that are in other parts of the world that are not making as much. What's the economic of that? Does it work? Can it work? I don't know. And that's the experiment. That's the experiment. And so do we get together in small groups? Am I happy to work with Robert? Yes, I'm happy to work with Robert. He happens to be in Africa, but he's using, you know, tech, he's using a video. I don't have to go to somebody nearby and spend lots of money. I can use Robert, but I'm not exploiting Robert. I'm working with Robert. And when we produce a video and it works, Robert's going to get a share of that. I'm not just paying him for something. He's helping me do something. It works. So he obviously deserves the money. I mean, it's just obvious. So I just don't understand this idea about selling our time, you know, selling our time to companies. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think it's absurd, you know, but until we get a working evidence of this within a few years, it's just talk and thoughts and which everybody's talking about things. So we need to get kind of results. So today we've done quite well. We've got something, got a video, and we've done something. Hopefully there'll be parts of this we can extract, and I will be putting it on this mural board. And so, you know, people will share through Scale, go to the mural board. And if they don't have the Scale, they'll be able to click on the Scale and they get Scale. And if it was shared through Scale, they'll click on the Scale and it will go to their Scale. And then they can share it forwards because it came through Scale. They look at it, they watch it, they think this is good, they share it forwards through Scale. So, you know, we don't have to do anything beyond this. If we play this game well, any first event, that's all you need. Okay. So instead of, you know, the Peace Lab, that's all we needed. In 2021, the first month, that's all we needed. Really? Yes. Why not? You know, to get the money flow, to start, and then, oh, we've got more money flow. Okay, what's the thing that we need next? What's the next Peace Lab thing? And it's through the people that have shared forwards. And they're starting to it's just a completely different way of working together. So blah, 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 blah. We're finishing. I think we're finishing. Has anybody got anything to say? It's now 7:06. We'll be here for the rest of our lives, guys. And we do have the rest of our lives. So don't worry.
Iona
Everything's good. Iona, finish it off for us, maybe.
Oh, thanks, Julie. I was just saying I really like Julie's idea that we should meet more often. And also, personally, I would like to know who these other people are who haven't been talking, but just listening. Obviously, they care about you and our work. And I just would love to do this again.
Okay, I don't know about doing this again, all right? But believe me, it's not a thing I do. Okay?
No, I don't mean doing this exactly again, but I mean, I was fuddling around, maybe some others were too, and maybe if we meet again and practice.
We don't need to
how
practice.
do this.
What I'd like
Yeah.
to do is have another of one of these kinds of things, hopefully with a company or something. Somebody's actually, you know, wanting us, or a network or something. You know, one of us says, come over, our group. Oh,
How
that's
about
Julie.
we vote on like one of these things that was inspiring to us, and we like build relationship. The main intent is to meet again, build relationships, and yeah, not practice, but actually do, you know, like
That's right.
choose one of these
Yeah.
things and like do it.
Now,
That's right. That's it. And so we just all
Okay.
gather together. We listen a bit more carefully to a project. We go,
Yes.
okay, so who do we think we should share for? And we just our scales of doing this. And so
I
then we
I
should
would
go
like
to the
to,
Rotary Club, and we go to the Rotary Club that Robert's talked about. He's doing
Yeah.
a group thing with the Rotary Club. Iona, you come, Julie, we all come, and we show them it and encourage them. We're demonstrating how to use this, and they start doing it. And so we're like a little, I would call it a Kickstarter because that's for a machine.
Yeah.
Right?
I
Where-
don't know whether anyone can hear me because the
Yeah.
screen being shared. So maybe could you remove,
Can you share?
just go back to the view that we can see more easily who's talking. Yes. Because-
Talk to us.
Yeah, hi. I want to second what Julie said, to just get together again a month from now and not really start thinking about what we will be doing, because there are different things going on, like just using how to learn the app. Like I'm still on a steep learning curve, how to figure out how to use it. And then there may be people here with projects that they already want to kind of illustrate or invite us to. And so so to just make sure we meet or figure a way that we meet again next month or every 2 months, and then we learn how to use the app and how to bring our projects in, and we get to know each other. So David, I think the intention is very powerful, but it's how we make people feel this intention. I think it's just by doing it, as someone mentioned earlier. We just have to do it. So let's do it. Like someone decides on a schedule, and now we'll just figure it out.
It's a learning experience for us. The trick about it is we need to see the social result. Adults want to talk about it before they do it. They want to learn something, therefore it's about
No,
commitment.
so
It's okay, it's okay. And that's why
Yeah.
I've had the difficulty I've had. And this thing was the first time since beginning of 2021, where it's like, okay, get the group together, get them to start doing it, and then hopefully they go, that's what it is. And it's the result. So I appreciate, let's get together. I'm happy to. So I'm happy. If you look on the Miro board, there's a thing called the meeting out of the ordinary. And the idea is we meet, you chat, you get to know each other fine. And then there's a layer below, it's blue. We're getting deeper. And that's like, okay, how do I use the app? Well, I use the app here. This is how we do it. Oh, okay. And so it's sharing. And then there's a layer deeper, which we haven't done today.
Yeah.
And
So-
it's to do with what are we doing collectively?
Yeah,
And
so can I interrupt, David? So the results are already there. I mean, the results are inside whoever is participating, as you pointed out, is the people who make it happen. But we just need to practice, because I have still a lot of questions I wouldn't be able to I mean, I would love to answer together with you, finding the answer to these questions, because I think it will go much quicker than just doing it one-on-one with someone. So like, yeah, okay, let's figure out the schedule. Yeah.
okay, so I think I've got everybody's details. I'll be sending a review, and I'll say, if anybody wants to do something, let's get together for that, and then say, well, what's the things that we can do? However, a lot of things are done like that. Okay, I wish people listen to me. I've designed this thing. I've played with it. Okay, if as soon as we adopt the methodologies that are traditional, then we got more of the methods that are traditional. And before you know it, you're stuck in a small group, committed to something. We can't do that. The problem level that we're facing is we learn as we do it. So as long as we grow and the thing's social, we learn as we do it. So I learned this Eco Squared. It took years Okay. And I'm still like, well, actually, I don't quite understand how that bit fits to that bit. Why? Because it's a psychosocial issue. It's a complex, wicked problem. The tool is easy enough, kind of. What's the relationship between values and credits? Well, as far as I can tell, there's a meeting point in the future, and it's to do with future, attention and money flowing. And there's something there. What's the maths of that? I don't know. What's the actual real? I don't know. But what I would like to do is get things happening, and then we have real world events. And because the real world events are working, then the numbers make sense. People want explanations of everything. I'm like, I don't know. Okay. So I would like us to try things out. And then once we've got enough money. So Margarita, you're doing great work. You should be having enough money and people listening to what you're doing. Okay. And in the process of more people listening and there's a bit more money flow, it's not too much, a little bit more money flow and a bit more people, then we start going, oh, okay. And then we start using the tool appropriately as we're learning how to use it. Oh, okay. And so that's my methodology. My methodology is let's give it a go. And I failed to get people to give it a go. And today, some people gave it a go. So I'm very happy after 3 years. All right. I'm very happy it's something that actually happened. All right. Julie.
I'm going to propose a checkout so that we can. So anyone who wants to share, what is valuable right now? What's alive right now? What's valuable? I'll start. Connecting with people. That's what's valuable. And the next step would be, because the trust that's missing. Thank you so much for talking about Western, the social soil is weak in the Western society. It's like, you dark skinned people, we kind of need you. Where are you? Show up, turn your video on. Please, we need you. Your social soil's much better. Anyway, so the value of the trust has to come first before we can do things that are regenerative. To me, that regenerating human relationships starts first. And in there's the safety and the peace that we can start to regenerate our relationship with our non-human kin. That's what's valuable. So connecting, that's what's valuable to me. That was long, sorry. Anyone else want to go next?
That's right.
Since no one responds, maybe I'll do now. For me, there are two things valuable and they're in their own different ways. One is, I think of the passage of time. So there are 8 billion people alive today, and in front of them, they have varying amounts of times. Some people have their whole life. Other people, they kind of see the horizon more clearly, that they think there is an end. But there is, for everyone, there is like time ahead. And that we live in a culture and that is not fully appreciated, how we're actually killing the time of other people or taking other people's time away, that we're robbing them of their future, as one of the Glens, I think, was trying to alert. So the sensitivity to the passage of time is very valuable to me, or just saying time is valuable, whatever way we want to measure it. But then there is another thing that I think is also extremely valuable, or ought to be valuable, and that is getting out of our head. Because I think the problem is, and that is maybe more a problem in the Western world, is that we live too much in our head because we're so afraid of looking what's in front of our nose, because we're somehow whatever, we can't handle that experience properly, and so to kind of figure out really appreciating the value of people that try and make an effort to get out of their head and be really in touch with, this is what is going on in my community and this is how I can plug in, because I think it can also be a very positive experience, because one discovers how many amazing good things are happening in every street, and it may be is just not visible because we're so judgmental most of the time, because we're afraid and we're always judging whether there's a disaster coming, while there are all these wonderful things or opportunities to transform the world are available, and we just don't tap in. And now I'm stopping this. Thank you, David, because your Squale seems to be a tool that exactly allows to do this positive connecting.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're doing, Julie, but I don't know if other people are here connected, listening, or somewhere on their computer somewhere. So I would like to round it off. It's been, it's been quite long. It's now, 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I do appreciate everybody's contributions, and I will be looking at all the stuff that's happened. Thank you very much, Julie, for recording. I don't know why I can't save it. I mean, honestly, there's the 3 dots. It doesn't beat. It's not there. So if you could save that so I could look at it. So I've missed a lot of that. Appreciate all your help. And yes, we can. I think it's a group of people. I think if we get a group of people that can use it, and then we go to different places as a group of people, and then people go, oh, that's what it does. And they start doing it. And so, it can potentially, and we might spark a viral. And if we spark a viral, everybody will want to be here and using it. So are you finishing off, Julie? Are you going to finish off, Julie? Are you? Yeah,
Well,
because we have to finish this off. We're going to finish this off. Okay.
We're going to finish this off. You have anything else to say, anyone? Iona, anyone? And then we'll say, that's it.
I loved it. Thank you, everybody.
Mwah. Thank you, everybody. This is awesome. Get in touch.
Yeah, I've also loved it and can't wait for the next session. I think we should have more of, such sessions to just connect, tell stories, tell our own stories, and do more of connecting.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you so much, David, for creating this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Robert. Let's see what happens. Good luck to us all. Good luck to us all. Be well.
Yeah, sure.
Be well. Bye. Right. I'm going to close this meeting. Okay. Oh, I could leave the meeting if people want to stay, I guess. I don't know. Record. Maybe stop the recording. I don't even know how to stop the recording. It's recording. I hope it's recording. I don't know. I'm going to leave now. See what happens.